Well, hello again. This is December 2nd. There are about 19 days left in the Northern Hemisphere for the Six Girl Month. The Six Girl Month is the culmination of 6 months in a row from the summer solstice in June through six women, 135, three grandmothers from the father side, transitioning at the equinox into 2, 4, and 6. I'm just enjoying myself, so I thought I would share with you kind of what's going on with me. Is I'm spending a lot of time with the six girl feeling. And the six girl feeling is more a correspondence to recognizing that it has 3 degrees: self, others, and all. The two girl feeling is building up the personal desire to feel. The 4 girl is somewhat of a laundromat of metamorphosis, of change. It's also the transition from daytime to nighttime. Hence, in the early evening, when 2 girl time of the day arrives, the 4 girl time is that part of the night that we go into the dark. We leave the material plane, go through sleep into the spirit world, very much like the symbology that you see here. For me, the final part of this, if there is a final part at all, is it corresponds to the skin of the soul. It also corresponds to the pineal, the primary gland associated with the skin, and the skin being interwoven with the sense of touch, which the largest part of the brain is the sense of touch and the organ of the skin. The skin of the soul, primarily being formed by or expressed through the divine feminine during this darkest month of the year. Just before, at the solstice, where the beginning of the increase of day length takes place. On the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, there starts a 6-month journey of masculine, 3 months of winter, coming into the spring equinox, then 3 months leading up to June again, a cycle. What I'm most interested in is the significance that deeply inside the feminine is the answer that changes who I am. So I've been diving into the feminine of the feminine of the feminine, 2 girl, 4 girl, 6 girl, in a quest to feel the significance of pristine silence, snow falling, fragrant flowers in winter, purity, innocence, silence. And it's having an interesting effect. I thought I would share something about it by sharing with you one of my favorite things in science, use the metaphor of the Hubble. The Hubble telescope, which has been in operation since the middle 1990s, It's only like 42 feet long, and it is doing remarkable things. One of the things that the Hubble, this little picture down here corresponds to the Hubble, looking into the galaxies of the universe, and they did one single experiment which was a little bit controversial, which is to aim the telescope into nothing, meaning they chose a spot in the night sky where they could see nothing. And then for a noticeable period of time, they focused, what this is designed to correspond to, they focused on the nothing, the dark night sky. And they left it there until it gathered more and more light. And then gradually, later, it revealed the photograph behind me, by the way, which is an actual photograph that the Hubble took in a deep field photograph. What they found was not an empty, dark sky. They found galaxies where they had seen none. The startling implications is that in this one place, there are trillions of galaxies. And these are only the ones that are visible. Because even though they can go back to this location to an estimated 450 million years after the Big Bang, there's a whole nother half of the Big Bang, if you want to call it half, going away from us that we will not see. Now, to help you grasp the difficulty of this, the spot in the sky they focused on is like focusing the telescope, a laser in a way, on something the diameter of a human hair from 1 mile away. So could you imagine focusing a laser on a human hair 1 mile away into nothing, and then discovering trillions of galaxies? Yeah, I need time to process that, because then my mind can't do the math. I get, brain freeze of going, neat, does not compute, how, what, where, neat. Wow. Now, this same principle corresponds to 2 girl, 4 girl, 6 girl. These are instruments available to us. Now, I'm not saying the Hubble telescope is available to you. It's not. But I am saying that you have something far better than the Hubble. Far, far better than the Hubble. It's you. And the capacity for your human soul to develop such a desire to be its own true, authentic self, to feel, and to build the feeling and build the feeling, and then focus it. In this case, the focus I'm suggesting is to focus on that stage of your life that goes into the metamorphosis of the nothing. What I mean by that is the caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly, black swan, going into the fear of the nothing and the all, because all of us have a fear of the nothing and the fear of the night and the fear of the void and the fear of being lost, or there's so many boundaries of specific types of fears that people have as they go off to sleep. That's why people jerk back in at times, because we go out and it's scary out there. But the reality is, through the process of the desire to feel, aimed at the experiences of change and the metamorphosis of grace, forgiveness, receiving, gratitude, and there's a whole bunch of skill sets associated with this second step that opens up trillions of galaxies. Because that happens every day. We do sunset, 2 hours, more or less. We get ready for bed. We go from vertical to horizontal, 2 hours, more or less. And we open up to the spirit world where our actual transformation and renewal of life, being, body, soul, mind, is actually occurring. I know that's odd. I'm saying through the process of feeling and letting go into the infinite unknowable possibility of the pristine universe, we are capable of receiving droplets of divine nectar into our stars. I know it sounds weird, but the stars are how I see the neural synapses in the brain. Yes, you have trillions of neuron connections in your upper canopy of your brain that if you were to take your top of your skull off, chink, and you set it aside, and you open that up to the presence of divine silence, the divine feminine, that can, like tiny droplets of snow, form skiable powder inside your brain. Well, you use your own metaphors if you want. You can call it honey, you can call it snow, you can call it bliss if you want. Because the answer is in those 2 weeks before the solstice. Because the solstice in the northern hemisphere is designed to be the increase of one boy breath, lung, inspiration. So how do we acquire an increase of innocence, feeling, inspiration? Where does inspiration come from? Well, in this analogy, it comes from the divine feminine in the month of autumn, the last month of the darkest time, where trillions of galaxies is the map of our future. Not just the physical universe in a 3-dimensional capacity, a 4th, a 5th, a 6-dimensional function, sphere after sphere. It's a pristine opportunity. So I'm just sharing with you, I'm having some really nice moments. I just thought I would share with you if you want to go look up the Hubble deep field and look at some of the facts about it. But this same mechanism is the ones we have. The one who operates the telescope is you, no one else. You're the only one that can operate your 2-girl capacity of where you want to focus your feelings with an intended outcome to reveal, well, whatever it is your heart's desire really is. Pure inspiration. Just consider that. See you soon.